The play is about this very unorthodox relationship, but that is not so much about love as it is two people taking what they need from each other and trying to become who they want to be by being with another person. And it's a lot about language. It's a lot about how what words mean, words as power, and words as like using words in order to sort of develop a relationship between like what exists in the outside world and a relationship between how you think about yourself. Orange reads books and teaches herself things in order to sort of develop an image of herself that she likes, and Hat also takes the words and the ways of being that Orange teaches him in order to become a man. Into that kind of relationship that the two of them have, I feel like there's this mysterious presence that sort of comes in, which is this young girl, Grace. Grace is like, has a completely irrational influence on Orange and Hat, that Orange can't bear to even think of her, and Hat can't stop thinking about her. So Orange and Hat have this relationship that's very wonderful and in some ways, but has no love in it and no craziness in it. And Grace makes them both crazy in a certain type of way. But I feel like when you're working on a brand new play, a world premiere, it's not just your responsibility to learn the part. You're not just learning the part, you're learning how like another person thinks. In a weird way, you're learning a whole new performance style, a whole new way of a whole new relationship to the audience, a relationship to other characters, a relationship to how you speak and walk. All these things, especially in a good play, I feel like this Greg, when he writes, really sort of reimagines the whole experience. And so it's not just a matter of learning your lines and saying, learning your character intentions. You really want to learn how to exist in a totally original world. And I find that a lot of new plays, working on new plays, there's a lot of the normal acting stuff. Mostly it's that. But with the director and the writer in the room and the other actors, what you're really doing is figuring out what the rules are to the world. But when you work on something brand new, you are sort of making an agreement. Hopefully it's an agreement that everybody's happy with about what this play really is. And that's incredibly exciting. You stage the play, you sort of do a set of blocking, like a rough draft of the blocking and the ideas and the thinking, and then you go back, and often it feels great the first time you stage a scene. You're like, oh wow, the scene, it works, we're really, the whole thing makes sense to me. And then when you go back, after you've done that for all the scenes, you go back to the first scene, and the feeling is like, what did we just do? I got up on this line? Why did I get up on this line? It doesn't make any sense. You have to go back and do everything. In my experience, you have to go back and redo the whole thing again. And hopefully you have time to do that again. And gradually the things that are important, that need to happen, stick. And the ideas and in terms of acting, the ideas or the feelings or the instincts in terms of what you're doing, those stick. The ones that matter, the ones that feel the most true to you, you don't have to decide, you just find yourself doing them. I said before, the best way of preparing is to just read the play 100,000 times, so that when it comes to time to make your choices, you know so much and then you can just make the choice, and you can, and in making a choice, it feels more human and more like you. The way people tend to actually make choices in their real life, which is not like, I'm going to choose to seduce you, or I'm going to choose to make breakfast. It's just like, oh, I'm going to make breakfast. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. It's more, I feel like rehearsals, preparation, and rehearsals, and any kind of creative process, the thing that I like the most is osmosis. Just sort of immersing yourself in the thing that you're doing. And so at the last minute, of course, you have to say, like, okay, every night I'm going to cross on this line, but that's just because that is what you're doing. That it seems like that's what's happening. Is me as this person is going to cross down stage when I say that thing, and it feels natural.